Good morning, everybody. Bright and early here in the city of Coral Gables. Our special guest today on Meyer the Move is Mayor Vince Lago. Welcome.
Good morning, sir. Thank you, as always, for the opportunity to reach out to our constituency and talk to people about all the great things that are happening here in the city beautiful.
It is a pleasure to have you on our show. This is our 75th episode. No, I'm kidding. I think we're like I think we've done about maybe 8 or so in the golf cart. Of course, we started this humble podcast series in the offices of Miami's community newspaper, doing interviews in studio. Well, I'm excited to have Mayor Lago in the golf cart today because he is the mayor of the city in which I live. Yes, Miami. Miami is a very broad term that covers, for the most part, the county, and then sometimes people even from Broward say they're from Miami.
Listen, there's a big confusion when people say all over the world, I'm from Miami. That's kind of a term that's thrown out there very loosely.
Yeah.
Miami-Dade County has 34 municipalities. Miami is one of them, and the city of Coral Gables is another one of them. So, I don't take offense to it. I think it's great. When people say, hey, you're from Miami, I always say, listen, I'm from Miami, but there's a small little town called Coral Gables that I'm very proud to be from.
And when you hone in a little bit on Coral Gables, Coral Gables is a relatively small town. What are we, about 50,000 residents?
51,000 residents.
51,000 residents. It's actually a very long city. It starts by about Southwest 8th Street, otherwise known as Calle Ocho.
Yep.
And it goes as far south as like 158th Street.
Yeah, all the way down Old Cutler, and you have an area that runs all the way up to Flagler. That crosses over 8th Street.
And so we're talking about a relatively small city. I mean, it's long, it's large in size, but it's 50,000 residents is not a lot. I mean, I think there's 250,000 residents in the city of Tampa. I think the city of Miami has close to 500,000 residents.
Yeah.
Is it
a little more?
Yeah. And so, but dialing it in, getting extremely local. Mayor Lago is the mayor of our little town called Coral Gables. And, our little town's getting a lot of attention lately.
It's getting a lot of attention because we're a city that, has really set the bar high. And I give thanks to a lot of the elected officials and community leaders who have made Coral Gables what it is today. You're talking about a city that has, neighborhoods as affluent as these, but it has opportunities for everybody to be part of Coral Gables. And also we have an incredible downtown that's leading the charge in regards to commercial real estate. We are drawing the attention, like you said, of major Fortune 500 companies, international companies that are looking for serious upgrades to quality of life for their employees. They're looking for that balance between work, play, and live, and Coral Gables offers that. A lot of opportunities that we've had in the past where we've seen large corporations move to the city beautiful is as a result of a lot of the higher ups, the executives in these firms, and a lot of the employees really advocating to move their employment closer to where they live. People don't want to spend an hour and a half in traffic every single day away from their family, or where they could be doing a lot of different things. Like I get up every morning, I'm at the gym at 5 in the morning. I try to get the gym done early, and then I head to the office to go work in the private sector or in the city. So to me, I see that a lot of people are saying, I'd rather spend less time in traffic and commuting and either work a portion from home or be in a situation where my office is in the downtown. And that's again, really more conducive for quality of life for families and that kind of
And to give our viewers an idea, like the downtown Coral Gables is small. It's relatively historic. It's a stretch just off of what we call Miracle Mile.
It's not that small. It's not that small.
I mean, small comparatively to Brickell or Wynwood or neighborhoods that you're thinking of, like Manhattan.
We have more square footage in our downtown than we have in Brickell.
More square footage?
Yeah, in regards to commercial. So we have a lot. But again, when you think about all of Miami's downtown, when you think about the downtown and you think about Brickell, I mean, obviously they're much larger than us. But our city, listen, we hold our own. We punch above our weight class. We've in the last 6 months, I've had major interviews, and we've been successful in drawing large corporations to the city beautiful, where they were thinking about going to Miami. And I'll give you 3 examples. The first one that was a big coup for us, and I'm very proud of having partaken in that, was FIFA. FIFA was considering moving between the city of Coral Gables and the city of Miami. We had multiple different interviews, and they're moving close to 800 employees here to downtown Coral Gables in preparation for the 2026 World Cup. And then now, I'm very proud to say that we also partook in the process of getting Apple to consider moving to Coral Gables. They're taking up 45,000 square feet at the plaza.
So if I'm looking for office space in the plaza in Coral Gables, I got to get in line.
You got to get in line. You got to get in line. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But we offer Class A, B, C for multiple different type of business strategies in the City Beautiful. There are 2 or 3 large companies in the same line as the ones that you mentioned that we were blessed to have them here in the city that are considering the City Beautiful. But I just want to respect the process and obviously not endanger the process where they would say, listen, we trusted in you, and you went out and you divulged that we were considering the City Beautiful.
Understood. Well, I always think that that any growth for Miami is great for Coral Gables and great for Coconut Grove. You know, we are the 2 premier cities in the suburbs of Miami: Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, Pinecrest. Yep. You know, each of those cities offers something a little bit different, a little more unique. You're going to fill up a lot of housing in Brickell, downtown, and Edgewater, but you're going to have a lot of families, and those families are going to move right here to the city of Coral Gables, where you know, our real estate has practically doubled, in some cases more than doubled and tripled, you know, over the last several years through the big COVID boom, which is not untypical. We're seeing that throughout most of parts of Miami and major cities. But you know, we just listed a house in the North Gables, a block off of the Granada Golf Course, and it was a 2-bedroom with a third, that we're kind of a convertible third sort of den situation that somebody would plan to enclose and turn to a master bedroom later. We listed it for $1,590,000, and we ended up with 6 cash offers above asking, well above 1.7. And so, you know, it's getting to be in Coral Gables where I tell people that getting the sub $1 million market is practically dried up. I would call it extinct. And then the sub $2 million market is on the endangered species list. And that's just the reality of our city, right? Bloomberg did a study that I believe was posted by the New York Post that said that Coral Gables was just ranked as America's ritziest city, surpassing Beverly Hills, California. Good thing to be ranked as a city of one of the most expensive cities to some degree, you know, but it brings with it its challenges. Talk to me a little bit about that.
You know, listen, I understand the challenges, and I've spoken to a lot of residents and individuals who have told me, listen, I would love to move to the city of Coral Gables, but I feel like I'm priced out. With a lot of success comes a lot of scrutiny. When you see a city, for example, the boom that we're facing, there's a lot of factors to it. And the city of Coral Gables is landlocked. You're also seeing a city that is 5 minutes from the airport that's in the middle of Miami-Dade County.
From my house, I've timed it early in the morning before traffic. I get an Uber and I'm literally at the check-in counter in under 12 minutes.
Yeah. So you're also talking about a city that has 2 metro rail stops. That's a big deal. You're talking about a city that has you know, a world-class amenity and institution like the University of Miami located within the confines of the city. You know, that's important to us. That's a big economic driver here that's really producing a lot of incredible talent. We've spent over the last 11 years over $100 million in infrastructure to build world-class fire and police infrastructure. Right now, we're building a 4th fire station that I've been working on for the last 10 years, and we're finally getting it built, bringing it to fruition. We have the best response times of any city when you talk about our police and fire. You know, we're world-class on many different fronts. Our amenities, you know, you're talking about Venetian Pool, the Coral Gables Country Club. It really sets us apart from other cities. But I mention these things because that's only going to escalate the amount of people that want to join our community. Also, by the way, talk to me about the wonderful schools that we have here in the city of Coral Gables, the public and private. You can get an exceptional public school education along with a charter education, along with a private school education. There's opportunities and there's segments for every single part of our population. When you look at North Gables, you could have bought a house for $400,000 or $500,000 3 years ago. You know, now those get gobbled up really quickly because people are willing to live in a smaller home, but they want to be centrally located. They want to be near a downtown where they can walk. They want to get a coffee. They want to be able to work out, live, play. They all want to be in an area which is, again, it's that quality of life lifestyle that the city of Coral Gables offers, and I'm really proud of. Our community is amazing. And by the way, it all goes back to the residents. Our residents have standards. They uphold those standards. They say, listen, we want to live in a city that upholds a code enforcement, that upholds beautification, the Mediterranean ordinance, that is, you know, sets the bar high. And everybody here in this community, look at this beautiful neighborhood. You have a tree canopy. We're a Tree City USA, 35 years plus. We're leaders in sustainability, not only in Miami-Dade County, but in the state of Florida. My house has run on solar for the last 7 years. I have an electric car. Our city right now has the largest 100% electric car fleet of any city in the state of Florida. We have the largest charging network. We have the most robust lead ordinance for construction projects, especially government projects and commercial projects. So we have very, very high standards that directly correlate into high property values.
You know, we are a city of parks, and you know, I heard you speaking the other day, and you were telling people about your vision for parks in Coral Gables, and tell us about what that vision looks like.
So my vision for parks is something critical. As the father of two young girls, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. As the father of two young girls, you know, to me, I love to spend time for example, in the Arboretum at the University of Miami. It's a beautiful area which has fruit trees and all kinds of natural trees located to South Florida. And what we tried to do when I started 11 years ago as a commissioner was we built a plan, and that plan was to have a park within 5 to 10 minutes of where every single person lives. If you live in this street, you should be able to walk. You should be able to walk within 5 or 10 minutes to get to an open space. So what I did was I wrote a piece of legislation that added a 0.5% to commercial projects, and that monies go directly into a fund which is used to acquire land in neighborhoods and then build pocket parks. It's a game changer in the neighborhoods because, you know, you don't need a large open space, for example, like you know, the country club or the youth center, or, you know, those type of facilities,
which are phenomenal parks. It's great to be really close to Houston, and my daughter goes to gymnastics there. You know, there's baseball, there's basketball, there's indoor basketball, outdoor basketball. There's tons of programming.
We're gonna do pickleball now. We're working on pickleball,
and those are great. But you don't all, you know, like, not everybody doesn't need to necessarily have that park. You can get in your golf cart or your car and drive there in a few minutes. But your vision is to have a park in a 5 to 10 minute walking distance from your house, no matter where you are in Coral Gables.
For example, as long as the residents approve it. We were looking at a piece of property here that we should have bought, but we didn't buy it because the residents in the neighborhood didn't want it. In this exact neighborhood, to me, I think that you should have you take one of these lots in these neighborhoods that's properly located on a corner, and you buy that property. For example, we have one on Blue Road, which is maybe a 3-minute walk from here, and it's an open space that's on the waterway. And we're gonna reprogram that park, and we're gonna make it into an amenity that is, again, passive, because that's what the residents in the neighborhood want. But it allow you to have a moment of solitude. It allow you to throw a ball with your child. It allow you to read a book. It allow you to have lunch. If you look at this, look, we're right now. Look at this neighborhood, and you know, I hope the cameras can catch it. If you look at this neighborhood, we are right now. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:10, 8:15. Sun's out. Beautiful oak trees that are over 100 years old. You know, you have mahoganies. You have Royal Poincianas. You know, you have a beautiful, beautiful canopy that is being manicured, protected. We have a tree succession plan that when trees die or when they're injured or they're sick, we remove them, we replant these trees.
Just did one on my street.
And the process and the idea of that is to continue to just work on our tree canopy, because if you really understand what makes Coral Gables special, it's our tree canopy. The tree canopy, again, the more lush, the greener. It's not only beneficial for the environment, but it's also really beneficial for property values. It's amazing.
I'm going to admit it. We originally moved to the city of Coral Gables just because of lack of inventory. My wife and I were living in Coconut Grove. We're walking distance to downtown Grove.
Is nice.
It's a great city. We raised our children from being really young, especially when they're that young, to be in the townhome district, walking distance to Main Highway. You know, she would walk them to the park. She'd walk them to get ice cream. She'd walk them to, we'd go to get dinner, pizza, whatever it was. It was like always a few blocks away, and that was great living. We bought in Coral Gables because of lack of inventory, and it was this great house we found in the Gables. We then sold that house very quickly, and we bought another house here to just more of an investment to get on the Coral Gables waterway, and living here, especially now. I mean, I couldn't imagine living in a more beautiful city, which is what we call the city beautiful.
But 25% of our tax base comes from properties on the water. So the idea of having clean air and clean water is quintessential for our success financially. And the reason why it's important is because when you really think about the quality of the water, or the properties on the water, they represent 25% of our tax base. And then when you think about the fact that the downtown, the central business district, represents 40% of our tax base, that's why we've been making such a huge investment, such a significant investment in really not only protecting the waterways and protecting our downtown, but doing everything we can to make sure that they thrive. And we're going to redo now we're going to do a new median and re-asphalt the streets on Ponce all the way to A Street. Investing in our downtown. I think it's important as a residential property owner and also as a commercial property owner in our city. To me, owning property in Coral Gables has been probably one of the best investments I've ever made. And it's also a sense of pride as the mayor. I'm the youngest mayor ever elected. My parents came to this country with nothing. This country opened their arms to my parents. My parents became physicians. The first time they had an opportunity, and
You came from Ireland?
My parents came from Cuba. My parents came from Cuba as very young kids. They didn't know each other, obviously. They came Peter Pan. They took in thousands of young kids from Cuba without parents, and they educated them. They connected them with families here. My father didn't see his parents for over 5 or 6 years. So think about that. He got educated, went to a university in Louisiana, Tulane, became a doctor. Then when he finally was able to get on his 2 feet after residency and starting his practice, in his late 30s, he said, I want to live in one place. You know where we ended up living? We ended up living in Coral Gables. You know where we lived? On San Amaro Drive. You know where I live now? San Amaro Drive. Why is that? Because I grew up running around running around the Arboretum with my grandparents who raised us. They raised us just like Jewish families, Cuban families. We all are raised by our grandparents, because as the parents work, we're out there. We're out there being picked up at school by our grandparents. And the first opportunity that I found a home in the Gables, I said I want to go and raise my children.
Right there where you grew up.
Right on Santa Monica Drive, and it's been amazing.
Beautiful. Speaking about family and community, let's lighten it up with a little talk about some of your favorites.
Okay.
This is not everybody's favorite game, and to our viewers, we're gonna put them on the spot.
It's all good.
It's not, you can't list every single place.
I'm just sweating. I'm just sweating.
You're sweating right now. Tell me that. We're gonna go through it. Favorite breakfast spots in Coral Gables.
Favorite breakfast spot? I gotta go with Bashur. It's amazing. I'm there 3 or 4 times a week. I do a lot of my business meetings for my engineering firm, BDI Construction. Shameless plug. But we do a lot of meetings there. I also meet with a lot of residents there during the week. It's a great opportunity to get there. The food is delicious. Pastries, coffee, amazing.
Favorite lunch spot.
Favorite lunch spot? I would probably.
I'll even give you 2 for lunch.
You even give me 2? Wow, you're very generous.
Be very generous.
I like Banana Berry if you're going for something healthy, fast.
Banana Berry's
It's
fantastic.
amazing.
Like
It's an amazing
It's a good
location.
choice.
The people there are the sweetest, and the food is delicious and healthy. And I also like something like Porto Soleil is delicious. Fiola for lunch.
Fiola's really good.
They have a good set menu, which is a good opportunity. There's good value. But there's so many good restaurants.
I like to keep it local when I can, but I'm not gonna lie. Hillstones is my favorite.
Hillstones is good too.
Still my
Hillstones
favorite
is good,
lunch.
but it's a
Still
chain.
my
I'm
favorite
trying
lunch
to
spot.
support the local.
But I do love local, and again we go local as often as we can because we do like to support everybody locally. You're taking your wife out for dinner in Coral Gables. Give me some dinner restaurants that are your faves.
Listen, we go at least 2 or 3 times a month to Fiola. We think it's an amazing spot. We get treated there like family. The food is delicious. The ambiance.
I love that. And then it's the weekend, and you're looking to relax. What does it look like for you in the city of Coral Gables to spend a weekend relaxing, getting out of the house?
What I love to do is I love to spearfish. I love to get out in the bay with some friends. Even if we don't catch anything, just being out in the water, having an opportunity to enjoy, just South Florida. To me, is something amazing.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, I also love just really spend time with my family. My girls are, I can't believe I'm saying this, they're 13 and 9. I still remember when we moved into our house. The years are flying by. So the ability just to walk in the neighborhood, go have lunch in downtown, go catch a soccer game with my girls who love to play soccer, just spend quality time with them, to me is something that, again, there's no words for that. Maybe I'm becoming too sentimental as I get older, but
it's like just getting out in the great outdoors.
Getting in the great outdoors.
We live in Coral Gables. We kiss the Biscayne Bay at the end of our waterway.
We take it for granted.
So I try not to.
Yeah.
I live what I preach. I bought the house on the water here. We do our best to just get out there and enjoy what Miami really is all about. And so I love all those answers. The other day I saw you. You were speaking at an event for community newspapers, and you challenged Grant Miller. Talking to you,
Yes.
Grant Miller.
Grant Miller.
For charity, You know, I know you to be a very charitable person. I personally have a big connection to the Chabad, so Chabad of Coral Gables, Chabad of Coconut Grove. Outside of the religious sector, I try to be involved in the Friendship Circle, and which is an organization that helps children with special needs. But I saw you challenge Grant Miller for $5,000 to charity to an exercise competition. Tell us more about it. My viewers know I could use a little exercise. I'm thinking about signing up. What do we got?
So let me tell you, listen, I love Grant Miller. Grant Miller and the community newspapers, Coral Gables community newspaper, do an incredible job. You know, we don't always agree, but I have a lot of respect for that man and for his efforts. Nobody knows this. I mean, he gives a lot to the community out of his own pocket, and he's always working just to make this community as a whole better. My wife and I are the same way. As you mentioned, we give a lot to charity of our own personal finances. You know, last year, you know, one of the things that I want to highlight is we give about $150,000 a year to charity in 2 events that we do. We do the Mayor's Gala, and that's the 2nd year that we did it. And we gave the funds to 2 different organizations, Coral Gables Community Foundation, and that money went to students who are graduating high school here in South Florida and could use a little extra boost, you know, on their way to college. I'm a big believer that through education, you can break any barrier. And that's one thing that we do, that we're really involved in, which is the foundation. We raise money through the gala, and also a wine auction that I put together every single year in the Gables, which has been growing. You know, we started, the first year was 50,000, then we went to 100, and last year was 150,000. So we give the money to the Coral Gables Community Foundation for scholarships, and then we give also the money to something that's really near and dear to my heart, La Liga contra el Cáncer, the League Against Cancer. It's one of the oldest charities here in South Florida. My father has been a volunteer since he became a physician, where he treats cancer patients for free, along with a whole host of other doctors here who give treatment. My dad's a GI, a stomach doctor, but sometimes they give him a call for a colonoscopy, an endoscopy, and he'll go and he'll see the patient and take care of it for free. So what we do is we raise money and we give it to them to treat people in our community that are the most needy, that don't have insurance or don't have a way to get that type of life-saving treatment. Over the last year, we've also really engaged with the Jewish community, something that's very near and dear to my heart. I've also been very involved with the Chabad. I'm Catholic, but a portion of my family is Jewish on my mom's side.
And a big shout out to Rabbi Avram Stolik and his wife Hani from the Chabad of Coral Gables.
They're amazing. They're amazing.
Who champion and head the Jewish community as best they can in the north. Yeah. Downtown Coral Gables area, where we do a menorah lighting right in.
That's what I was going to talk about right now. So they challenged me. He came to see me. He said, "Listen, Vince, we do this great menorah lighting. We've been doing it for years on the downtown, but I'd love to do something maybe in front of City Hall." And we were talking about potentially doing the menorah lighting in front of City Hall. I purchased with my own money a beautiful menorah that was for the first time ever lit in front of City Hall.
Beautiful.
And we had
the LED one.
Yeah, the LED one.
Nice.
It's going to be there forever. It was donated. My family donated it to the city. But to me, and this year we're going to do, hopefully, we're going to add to that. And we're going to do, hopefully, a manger this year. So I'm trying to send a strong message that whether you're religious or not, there's always an opportunity. There's always an opportunity to come together. And I think that if we see more of that in this community, in our community, in South Florida, the United States, abroad, I think that we can only be better. It only has made me a better person to get closer to the Jewish community here. Because when you really start analyzing people in our community, you start really realizing that we're a lot more alike than we are different. And that, to me, was a wonderful showing of support in our community. We had a few hundred people that showed up.
And I think it was the first time, you know, that there's been a menorah in front of City Hall in the 99 years of Coral Gables history. I'm glad we did it before we broke triple digits.
Yes.
And
Centennial is coming up.
Speaking of trivia, we got Centennial. You know, Coral Gables was founded in April of 1925. And so we are coming up next year, April 2025. Yes. We're going to be hitting our 100-year mark. What exciting things do you see for the 100-year mark?
So, you know, that's a big milestone. And as the youngest mayor ever elected, it's going to be a privilege to really celebrate that. You know, we're going to be having a bunch of events to commemorate that moment in our history. Where I hope that a lot of our residents and business owners and friends will come out and celebrate with us to really send a strong message that we're looking forward to the next 100 years. We're building towards the next 100 years. They're going to have a whole host of programmed events where everybody can get involved. There's not going to be any cost to it except for maybe a few dinners. But all the money we've asked, that all that money that gets raised go to charity. But the majority of the events, 99% of them are going to be really focused in on just educating people in our community about what's going on.
As we're coming near to the end of our interview, we like to do our best to put everybody on the spot for a little bit of carpool karaoke. It's a segment that many people look forward to. Some people just skip right to the end. Some people don't know it exists, and so we ask all of our guests for their favorite karaoke song. If you don't have one off the top of your head, we could pull one up. Tell me what you got.
Well, I gave you, I think, a Journey. I think Journey would be apropos.
We got Journey.
Because life is a journey.
Life is a journey.
Life is a journey, and we try to make the best out of it.
Coral Gables is on its journey to 100.
But I'll tell you this much: I will preface this embarrassing moment with the fact that I'm good at a few things, but I'm not good at singing.
That's okay. I'm pretty decent, so I'll carry the weight. But you got to chip in.
Let's go. I'm in.
All right. I'm just a small town girl.
Living in a
lonely world. Took the midnight train, going anywhere. We're terrible with the lyrics too.
No, I also need my glasses.
Just a city boy, born and raised in South Coral Gables.
Yeah, that's good.
He took the midnight train, going anywhere. Well, you are terrible.
I am. I'm off.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling.
Wow, you're really good though. Jesus. Wow. I'm actually impressed.
That's funny.
I'm actually impressed.
No, it's not bad. You're a good sport.
No, listen, at the end of the day, you can never take yourself too seriously.
No, not at all. And honestly, we haven't had anybody who's been really happy to sing on this segment of karaoke, but we're going to keep embarrassing them anyways. Thanks for being a good sport.
It's always good to show a little bit of your lighter side, you know.
I don't know what this challenge is that we're doing with Michael, with Grant Miller.
Let's talk about that.
Grant Miller. But let's talk about that for a second and bring it back. We got a little off track. But, again, Grant Miller, we're coming for you.
So the plan was at the community newspapers event that we had this week, I challenged Grant Miller. I'm going to put $5,000 personal donation.
Your own personal donation.
Personal donation.
Family donation.
Family donation. And what I'm going to do also is I already have a few. It was pretty interesting. I had a few businesses that reached out to me and said, listen, we'd like to donate $1,000, $2,000. We'd like to match. The goal is to try to raise maybe $30,000 to $50,000 for charity. And I said, Grant, listen, it's not about my charity. I want you to pick a handful of charities, or maybe 2 charities or 3 charities that we can donate this money. So Grant is going to be one of the participants, and I also challenge Commissioner Cabrera from District 6, who's a great sport, who's doing a great job representing Miami-Dade County.
The Miami-Dade County Commissioner.
The main Miami-Dade County Commissioner, but he has a portion of Coral Gables where he's doing a really good job representing us. And I said, let's get together, the 3 of us. We'll have a workout challenge. Maybe we can bring in Javi Fernandez from South Miami, Eric Diaz-Padrón from West Miami.
Consider me in on this one.
And let's get everybody in there.
I'm putting $5,000
Oh, here we go.
I'm putting $5,000 in the pot.
I love it.
And I'm challenging businesses and other real estate agents that are in the Coral Gables area. Get involved. Whether you can give $1,000, you can give $5,000. Let's try to get this pot. Let's set a goal for this pot.
Let's do it.
What do you think? 100?
I think
100,000?
I think we can get 100,000.
Let's get 100,000.
Let's get $100,000. It's for charity.
Cool. We got
and then we'll sit down.
Grant and Commissioner Cabrera. We're already at 20. Guys, we need another $80,000, and we're gonna get it done.
I think we can speak to a few other guys in town that are very philanthropic. A few ladies that I know that are very giving. And let's engage. Maybe we can give some of the money to the community newspaper, so that they can find out people in this community that are very necessary. The foundation, the Chabad. It's a lot of great charities that are doing some great things here in our community. Just send us ideas.
We got to get it. We get the money into the people that are making differences and making changes.
So
I'm excited both to be involved in the charity, be working with you and Grant on it, and maybe in the process I'll lose a few pounds.
Listen,
so I can look as good as this guy over here.
Listen, it's a journey. It's a journey. But we're closing. I just want to say thank you for this opportunity on 2 fronts. Number one, for allowing me to speak to the residents and to the business owners here in our community. But more importantly, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to represent you. It's been one of the greatest honors outside of being a father to be representing this community. This is a special place. It's a special place that's changed my life on many different fronts. I started my journey here when my parents moved to this great country and they chose Coral Gables. And I'm continuing that journey, raising my 2 daughters here. and it's just been something that's been transformational and just given me so much that it's an honor to give back in any way that I can.
I love it. Keep up the great work. You got years ahead of you, hopefully, to make big differences and changes in this community, and and then we'll keep an eye on you, Lago. We're gonna see what you can't be the mayor forever.
No.
We'll all be watching to see what great things you bring to the world.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that.
Thanks for being on the
you,
show.
sir.
We
It's a
really
pleasure.
appreciate you.
Thank you for what you do, which is important.